Hi guys, welcome back to Overbite Gaming, and today I'm taking a look at X4 Foundations. Now, I have played quite a few of the X games. I think I started with X2 and then played X3 and obviously now played X4. I've had this game for quite some time, but seeing as Starfield isn't out for us plebs that are using Game Pass to play it, and I'd already spoken about Elite Dangerous, and Star Citizen hasn't had enough time for me to feel like doing another video on that is worthwhile. I figured I'd have a look at one of the other sort of cornerstones of the space sort of simulation game, and that's the X series. Now, the current iterations is X4 Reunions. It does have multiple DLC. I think there's 3 or 4 out for it. And it's currently on sale for about £15 on Steam, so if you're quick, you can get in there and get it cheap. Otherwise, it's about 40 quid. As I've said, I've had it for a long time. I've never really put that much time into it because it is a fantastic game. The variety of things you can do in it, the facilities it allows you to use, to build a fleet, to build stations, to have this amazing, just complete empire is fantastic. You can claim sectors of space, you can defend them, you can invade other sectors. It's just incredible the amount of facility you have with this game. But that also comes at a trade-off, and that trade-off is the game is near damn impenetrable. I cannot think of a game that I think has as many people actually owning it but have played like 40 minutes or an hour of it and then gone, oh god, no. It is one of those games that you really need to do research on for every single thing you're doing in it. And this goes for me. I mean, I've put not a considerable amount of time in it, but like certainly more than should get me comfortable with the game. But every time I come back to it, I'm on YouTube looking up tutorials all over again, because it is such an in-depth, and I don't want to say jank, but some of the design decisions the developers have made are a little bit strange, shall we say, which doesn't help. The fact that there's so much you can do in it, it's just like walking in and just getting blasted in the face with possibilities and just being endlessly confused. I would highly recommend doing all the tutorials in-game. There's flight school, which you can do before entering the game, and then there's tutorial missions in the game itself. So they are trying to shepherd you in the way you should be shepherded, but the best resource is definitely YouTube. Go see other, creators' videos on sort of tutorials. It won't be here because I'm not confident enough. I understand the systems well enough to communicate it to you guys. I mean, as you can see, the footage is not exciting. It is me mining and managing my other ship, which is off exploring a different sector. So that is one of the key sort of things that you can do differently in this, as opposed to, say, Elite or Star Citizen, stuff like that, is that you have more than one ship that is out there at any one time. In Elite or Star Citizen, you have multiple ships, but you can only fly one at a time. In this, you can hire pilots, go out there, do your thing, and then you will end up building an empire that has hundreds of ships with thousands of employees and space stations that produce goods, and your ships mine stuff, and then it takes it back and refines it into trade items, and the trade items take it to production facilities, all of which you own. So it is just incredibly varied, but the problem is, with all that variation and all that ability to do things, comes the fact that you have to learn how to do the things. So in the footage that I'm doing, I'm just mining ore. I mean, it's all early game stuff. Nothing. There is a story to it. It's not. It's more of a. I don't want to say it's more of a catalyst, but it's not. Yeah, it's what it is, I suppose, would be the best way of putting that. But it does help push you through. But like, there's no spoilers for any of that. For what there is of it. So it's just me mining a bit of ore. You can see I've gone and sold one, and I had to relearn mining just before taking the footage in order to do this. It is one of those. And as you can see, I'm having, well, you may not be able to see now, but you will see, I'm actually having trouble selling my ore, because I went to a station that I thought bought ore, and I get there and it's not in the trade list. So now I'm just like, what do I do now, Dad? kind of situation. And you get that a lot, man. I like the game. I want to put like a lot more time into it. This is what I want to say about it, because like the intrigue of like buying all the huge ships and like assembling a fleet and managing your empire, that all sounds well and good, but at the start of the game you're just one guy, one ship, or in this case I could manage to get myself a second ship, and you need to do all the nuts and bolts. But because it's kind of pushing you away from that, it feels like, I don't want to say it's rushed or it's terrible, because it's not, but it could be better. I think like that early game sort of stuff, and I think that's what would turn a lot of people off, is manually doing stuff isn't as rewarding as it should be. It's more pushing you like, okay, we'll get this pain out of the way, then you can automate miners and start getting them passive income, and then you can buy other ships and increase the income, then you can start, and you're on your way. But initially when you're doing missions and various bits and bobs, I mean, I'm trying like not to get killed. It's quite easy to get killed. I've gotten killed several times, mainly through my own stupidity, in fairness to the game. But yeah, it definitely seems to want to get you out of your own ship sort of as quickly as possible and into the corporate side of things, which I'm fine with. I'm fine managing the corporation, but as I said, sometimes you just want to jump in and do a bit of mining, or have a bit of a rumble. And I think like fighting is one of the main reasons you would actually manually assume control, just so you can have that sense of assurance that you're not sending out a really costly ship with a complete dickhead in charge of it. Well, outside of yourself perhaps, and being a bit careful in not throwing it away needlessly or through some AI glitch, which does occasionally happen. I mean, in this little play session I had to capture footage, somehow I managed to turn on relativistic control, so I made a complete hash of my landing, because I mean I've got like a version 2 docking computer, so like when you get close enough it should just do it for you. Getting close enough was an issue because I was just going sideways. I was like no. Took a bounce but managed to get back in, and then I was just like, okay, the captain I have for the ship can fly me around. And that's what you do. Like a lot in the early game, it is slow. It is a slow starting game, because like later on when you've got multiple ships doing multiple things and you're constantly managing and hopping between them and sorting shit out, then you don't have any downtime. But when you've just got like a ship going from A to B, it's just a lot of waiting. The system-to-system travel, you don't have jump drives or anything like that. You have jump gates, which you have to go through. There is what's called the highway and the inner systems, which is basically a lane which will just blast you through various systems, and it connects to jump gates, so you never have to stop traveling at like super fast speed, which is helpful. But like anything off the beaten path, you could be going at like your ship's travel velocity, which isn't fast. It's like, I think it's like couple thousand kilometers per second, which sounds like a lot, except when you're in space it's not a lot. But so you do end up just having on autopilot for extended terms, or letting your captain take over if you've got one, because you can assign captains to ships that you are piloting and then just step away and just say, look, you do that, mate, as I started to do for the dockings after that initial pile up happened. And you just watch them fly out. They're a bit more like restrained a lot of the time, and you could probably do things quicker. But you don't have to be there shepherding them all the way. You just stand behind them and piss off and get yourself a cup of coffee or something while he's flying you back to the station, which is a good touch, because yeah, like I said, there's a lot of traveling early game when you're not got much to do in terms of management. You will feel it. It is a bit of a slog. It's one of those games where people won't play it because like you're starting to think like, oh, I need to put like 10 hours minimum into this before it starts get to go, and you're probably right. It is a time sink of a game, but I mean, it is one of those games that once you do start putting that time into it, it is massively rewarding in getting you your your empire up and running and defending it, and you know, amassing untold riches and building your own ships in your own shipyards. It's just another level. It really is. It's so ambitious, but as I said, it does come at that cost of being impenetrable to the new user. You have to do a lot of research because there's so much going on. You have to research like multiple videos. You can't just watch a video that says here's how to play X4. It doesn't exist. You will get ones that say here's what you do like in your first hour of gameplay, or here's how to mine, or here's how to set up auto mining, or here's how to build space station, you know, stuff like that. You have to literally be playing the game and go, oh, I don't know how to do this. Let's watch a YouTube video that does, and then watch a YouTube video and come back and hope you've understood the video, which in not all cases I did. There was some unclear stuff, and I'm trying like, I mean, for the first time I tried mining, I remember I was shooting all the bits that came off because I just assumed that like every other miner in game that I've ever played, it just sucked up your ore for you. It does not. No, you shoot those fragments, you just destroy them. I'm like looking at my cargo and thinking, why is it need filling? No, you need to vacuum it in, but I was perhaps a little bit too far away and the vacuum wasn't working, so I just figured I couldn't. So I just shot them, and then I watched another video and he's like, oh, you can vacuum it in, and then it didn't work in his game, and I was like, can you though? It was very strange. But I eventually got there, and I've done at least one load, and I'm trying to sell them by second, but because I wanted to go to a different system to trade it, because the station I went for, it didn't go for a very good price at all, because it wasn't in demand, which makes sense. I mean, it's shitty ore, you know, it's nothing terribly uncommon, especially. So I was like, well, I got like 15 grand, and that didn't seem like much for the time I'd invested in that one run. So I was like, I'll take it to another station and see if I can set it better there. And I thought I found one, but it doesn't even buy it, so obviously I didn't find one. And these are the sort of things I'm talking about. It's just, you'll be going along and going, I got it, I finally got it, and then you'll be like, no, I don't got it. I'm back to YouTube again. I'm probably doing a really good job of turning you off of this game. I would say give it a try. Definitely at 15 quid, because man, you could sink thousands of hours into this, no problem. And even once you've got your empire established, there's always more expansion to be done. So yeah, you could seriously pump some time into this, and for 15 quid I think that's a really good deal. Even at 40 quid I'd say it's a really good deal. But obviously it's not for everybody. The slow pace of the start, the general jankiness of some of it, you can like end up inside of like structures quite easily, like inside their models. So that's happened a couple of times to me, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, for 40 quid or 15 quid is, well, that's a great deal. I hope get that if you can. But it is for a certain kind of person. Someone doesn't mind the slow start. Someone that wants to have a game that's a time sink and they can really put some time into and manage a lot of the minutiae themselves. Then this may be well up your alley, especially if you're into space games. I mean, it is doing some of what Star Citizen is attempting to do, but it is not as janky. I would argue it is less accessible though, and it doesn't look as nice. The graphics are okay. Occasionally they're beautiful when you get the right sort of environmental effects, but otherwise they are just okay. They're serviceable for the game. Some of the alien races look a bit weird, but they're just sitting in a chair with you anyway. It doesn't matter to me too much. Even just the quest pathing is just, I don't know. Even in the tutorials, there's points where you're sat there going, I do not know how to progress this tutorial mission. Tell me more, please. So there is definitely work that they could do to make it easier. But I mean, there's just so much to it that like you'd be spending like 10 hours doing a tutorial, and I don't think people would go for that either. So, you pay your money, you take your choice, I guess, in that respect. Anyway, guys, that's X4. I've whittled on far longer than I thought I would, actually, so I'm quite impressed. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. We are actually filming a little secret project on Sunday night. So there you go. We are progressing. It was just my co-host could only make the end of the week, which was a bit of a shame. I was hoping to have it all edited and done ready for Saturday, but that is the thing when you actually have to introduce somebody into the project that actually has a social life, as opposed to me, who doesn't. Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you next time.